when as an artist, there's so much ego operating at probably at the highest level sometimes that you have to like. The better you get, the more you're managing that and taking direction and taking input. When they came to Grammy weekend, and he knows, but part of my dream is to always because their taste I don't give a fuck if you identify as an artist or not, nigga. Your taste kind of suggests that you're an artist, right? How you consume. So Poe and L are in the studio, and L goes, "Nah, nigga, you should talk about this and you should do it like this." And I'm like, "That's fucking brilliant." Like, there's nothing wrong with that, you know. But it does take a really long time for it takes a long time for someone like me to get in this space to receive that type of information, but also takes people a really long time to get in the space to give it. Right? So there's this exchange that's happening. I've met J-Lex and Lex was there. He filmed it, so I thank God that I don't feel like a crazy person because I keep having these random encounters with J-Lex where they're like, "Oh, you my man for real," but we don't know each other. So the first time we met, it's funny because the memory was at South by and it came up on Facebook today, so I had to repost it. That was fucking 6 years ago. Then the next time was when I opened for him in the city, and at soundcheck, he goes, "Let's go for a walk," and Lex just happened to have the camera on because as he was talking to me, I'm like, "Nigga, why are you talking to me like you know me?"
Nah, the craziest part about that experience was when you walked in. He said, "I know I remember that brown skin."
He did say
I'm,
that.
I'm like,
He did
what?
say that. And everybody was looking like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" But he was like, it felt genuine, whether it was or not. It felt genuine.
Nah, on the camera, you can tell.
Yeah.
It was genuine.
Yeah. So all that to say, that dude's pulling from a different place. Because if he wasn't, he would have rushed an album out one. Like as soon as Exhibit C landed the way it did, he had every incentive to drop a record right then and there. Like, no, I'm not pressed because he had already done Internal Sunshine. That was like, it's like an album if you wanted them heads, and I was one of those heads when it dropped. So you're on the context part of J Elect, you're right. But with the context of J Elect, if people had context, and the reason why I don't fuck with Joe and his take on J Elect is because he's bitter that J Elect will out rap him for one, and then two, J Elect has had to do a fraction of the shit that Joe has had to do to receive the prestige that he's had to do. Sometimes less is more. Right? Sometimes less is significantly more, especially when it's as great as Eternal Sunshine is. I know Joe's never listened to Eternal Sunshine. I bet my last dollar on it. So the amount of material that exists, niggas is trying to act like it don't exist, and it exists. He's been touring since Exhibit C, and he goes out and headlines by himself and does like an hour and a half sometimes. So he got shit, got plenty of shit, you know. And it's kind of tight that it's unreleased shit because you experiencing it for the first time, unless you've seen him a few times, right? So then there's that part. Lastly, the most important part of this tape, a written testimony. It's called a written testimony for a reason. And as a fan, do y'all know what I would do if the only time one of the greatest minds in music ever came to the studio was when I called?
That's true.
I'm the only nigga that can get this nigga out of his house to come rap for real. None of y'all can but me. And he gonna start my shit off with bars like we ain't heard Hove like this ever. And I'm the reason for that.
Yeah, that nigga was in the mat.
I'm sorry. My brain just worked different, I guess. So I'm looking at it from J Elect perspective. I'm going, yo, nigga, you got Hove to start your debut album. The first voice you hear on his debut album is Hove. Snapping though. Give a fuck what y'all feel about me at that point, nigga. I got Jay-Z out the bed, nigga, to come rap for real.
Not only that, like that whole album, the way Jay was snapping. Imagine the conversations they probably had before
to get to exactly
they went into the booth and after, like.
And so it's just it's a game of games, right? It's a game of games. me and this nigga, I was 8th grade going into 9th grade, and Dylan and his parents had a dinner at their house and invited my soon-to-be high school coach. And we always played one-on-one. Me, Dill, L, we always played one-on-one. Yeah. But for whatever reason, not for whatever reason, in hindsight, I know exactly what it was, but Dill was like, yo, y'all playing way too serious. I'ma chill. So me and L, and this is little, the court was lit. It's nowhere to go.
Bro, there's no movement.
There's nowhere to go. For real.
This is going to be all
post-ups. All post-ups, for real. You can shoot a jumper if you want to, but why when you can just post up? And so my soon-to-be coach walks through the door, and I start playing hella hard. Like, hella hard, for real. But this is I'm playing my big cousin that I've never beaten. I want to beat him so bad. So fucking bad. But it was always like, I didn't win that day, but that was the day that I realized, like, yo, what playing up to your competition really was. Mm-hmm. The niggas that's nice, like it. And then from that day on, every time I was going to have to play St. Mary's, like, I just was able to tap into something different. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh shit. And it's this, and then in the, but this nigga would always have his best games, like, oh my God. But my sophomore year when we played y'all at the house, and they were on fire too. Sold out, like the game was fucking packed, and our point guard got hurt, and we didn't have another point guard. And I had been begging them niggas to let me play the one for 2 years by that point, and they were just refused. They didn't have no choice that day.
Niggas gonna put me at the point, nigga.
Yeah. And after the game, one of the assistants goes, bro, I would like to apologize to you for not listening to you sooner. I remember that just being a real thing. And he goes, for a couple reasons. And Dwayne, shout out Dwayne. I don't know if he remembers this conversation, but I'll never forget it, because it sort of set the tone for how I would approach life forever after that. But he's like, one, for not listening to you and like believing in you, how much you believed in yourself, your abilities. Because I was telling him as an 8th grader, like, yo, I'm a point guard, like, just let me play the one. Like, it's unorthodox and it's slow, but I'm gonna get from point A to point B, and the little hesitation and change of direction is gonna be nice.
We
like,
just missed the positionless.
We just missed it.
Like, just missed it.
You would have been league for sure,
bro. That was easy.
I would have at least been able to play overseas. At the very least, that positionless shit was the change of all changes.
Folks gotta remember, like, coaches were literally so scared to think outside the box. Like, it was like the biggest fear. Like, it was crippling fear.
I would guard Big John in practice because nobody else could. Yeah. That's insane. Think about that in hindsight, is crazy. Nigga, they were trying to make me a 5, bro. That's crazy. But he goes, for believing in yourself and your abilities, for one, but for two, he was like, bruh, your cousin is the best in the state. That nigga just turned up to play against. He's like, whether it was to play against, he had something to prove for the family, whatever, but he's like, I'd like to attribute it to the fact that he turned up because he was playing against you. And I was like, damn. It's like, when you get the nigga to turn up, that's different. And so from that point on, I've never sought the salute from the fans. I just need the niggas who know for real to know for real.
Sure.
You know, and so when they start posting the pictures of Hov and Jay Elec in the studio, it's like, oh damn. And then the album starts, and it's Louis Farrakhan to open, and then the first voice you hear rapping is Hov. If I still have his number, but it's just weird with idols like that. I don't want to hit him. I should hit him and be like, salute my nigga, and the number's probably not the same no more either. But I wanted to hit him and be like, nigga, I'm so happy for you. Because as a fan of him, I know how much of a fan of Hov he is. And he got Hov to open his debut record, the first voice you hear. And so people with their watch it throwing 2 jokes and all the shit is cute. But the type of time, Hov can't get on that type of time without being around that type of time, I guess.
That's real.
And so written testimony for that alone is one of the more special moments in hip hop. because somebody who had an unorthodox ascension to be revered as one of the more formidable MCs, that being Jay Elect. Like, nigga, you don't even have a mixtape out, and niggas is calling you one of the best. That's unheard of. And then you start your debut with one of the niggas that's recognized as the best to ever do it. We've never seen it before, so naturally, the hate and all, like, it makes sense that Joe and niggas like that would hate on it. It does.
Yeah, I get that. I really like the project. I thought that it was, I thought that it was cohesive. I still need to go back and listen to JLX parts, but at least it wasn't something that was like he still had, like, it was bars that I was like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like, I get why he's kind of, in that space or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, he's not Royce to me. Like, I think Royce is underappreciated, but I wouldn't want to pit them against each other like that. I just want to kind of put it more in like a.
Whenever Royce and Jay Elect make songs together, it's the most, that prime record they got together is unreal. It's truly, and so the Royce being undervalued is different because Royce has hella bodies of work for us to reference, and so that'd be my confusion with these fucking purists. It's like, the niggas that's nice, y'all don't support no way. Kendrick said that shit years ago. It's like, y'all really don't give a fuck about who the best rapper is, because if that was the case, Killer Mike would be a fucking billionaire. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So niggas be pretending like they care, but them lo-fi backpack niggas don't support shit.
That's wrong.
Ever. Niggas not buying nothing at all. So it's like, oh, nigga, you went mainstream, you sold out. Nigga, that's who fucking paying and supporting. You lo-fi backpack niggas don't support shit. So which one is it? Pick a side.